Hello, everybody. It's Professor Hunt. Just want to say happy Halloween. We're not having class tonight, but I did promise to make the video for you this evening. We are going to go ahead and go over the midterm. This video is going to be about 15 minutes, and I may have a few more 15-minute videos as well. So for a total, I think, of 45 minutes or an hour. So let's go through the midterm. Hey, before we go through the midterm, just to let you know, just a few announcements. I did grade all the midterms. I recorded them, but I have not put them in the grade book. I did send them back to you. So yeah, in your email, you should have an attachment with your midterm and my comments in your overall score for the midterm. Here's the answer sheet I have for the midterm. So I'll just go straight down. Question 1 was worth 15 points. Question 2 was a total of 20 points if you got them all right. And then question 3 was a total of 50 points if you got them all right. Question 4, 10 points. And question 5, 55 for a total of 150. We'll also discuss this a little bit more when we all get back together in class as well. Just going through question 1, multiple choice, three points each. The question number 1 is a blank statement is used to choose from among multiple options. And that answer there was the switch statement. Number 2, the answer there was nesting. Nesting is the concept of putting one structure within another, making sure its execution is dependent upon the outer structure. Making its execution dependent upon the outer structure. So the answer there was nesting, C. Which number 3, what keyword is used to define a constant? The answer there was A, C-O-N-S-T for constant. Number 4, a blank occurs when 2 or more conditions have to be evaluated for an action to take place. That's a complex condition. And this one, I think people have a little trouble on. The keywords and, or, and not are known as logical operators, number C. A lot of you, some of you rather, put B, relational operators. Now, if the answer was, if A is greater than B and, B is greater than C or something like that, those greater than symbols, less than, greater than or equal, greater than or equal, less than or equal, the not operator. Those are the relational operators. Okay. So your greater than symbol, your greater than or equal, your less than or equal, and your not, operator. Those are relational operators. Okay. So question number 2, what is the difference between a logical error and a syntax error? Got some different approaches on this, which was pretty good. A syntax error is really an error within using the constructs of the language. For example, not putting a semicolon at the end of a statement. That's a syntax error. Okay. Another type of syntax error would be maybe if you have a variable, you're trying to use a variable, but you have not yet defined it. That's also a syntax error. Another type of syntax error is if you misspell something. Maybe you misspelled else, or maybe you misspelled if, or maybe you misspelled the variable name, or you left off a brace, or you left off the parenthesis. Those are what we call syntax errors. Now, logical errors are a little bit differently. Your programs can still work with logic errors, but it may not perform. It may perform unexpectedly. For example, if you're trying to evaluate age, if age is greater than 65, you want to make admission to be free. But maybe you made the error, or someone made the error saying if the cost is greater than 65, when they really meant to put if age is greater than 65, the compiler would not necessarily give an error, but it would your program would produce unexpected results. So just be aware of that, of logic errors and the difference between logic errors and the difference between a syntax error. What are the two uses of the plus operator? They're from concatenating variables together. Remember, for example, if you want to concatenate the first name plus last name, you could do that. They also use for arithmetic or addition. So, for example, if you're adding 4 plus 4 equals 8, you first have to parse out the portion of the variable before you use the plus operator if you're doing addition, or else it would do the concatenation. So concatenate and add mathematically is the answer. Number 8, explain how an assignment statement works with an example. An assignment statement initializes a variable. It may also declare a default value. For example, var, and then this is a variable, which is the variable name, equals true. We declared this variable and we initialize it with the value true, which is a Boolean data type. The purpose of the parse int method, it attempts to turn whatever is inside the parentheses into an integer, regardless of what type it was. It is especially useful when trying to make user input, which comes in as a string from a prompt and performs math with it. So you want to convert something from a string to an integer. Number 10, explain why you should not put a semicolon after the condition in a selection. The semicolon marks the end of the code statement to be executed. So if you put a semicolon after a condition, the condition would not be executed and may issue error as well. So you don't want to put a semicolon after a condition. So you never want to do something like this. You never want to do this if my condition age is greater than, I'm testing for age greater than or equal 65, right? If I can type admission equals free, right? So I never want to do this, put the semicolon after condition, because it would be wrong, right? So we never want to do that. Question number 3, section question number 3, question number 11 rather. The answer there says, what does the following code display on the screen? The code would actually display 2.5. You take 5 divided by 2, you're going to get 2.5 because you're not using parse int there. So, okay, so the answer would be 2.5. Number 12, what is wrong with the following code segment? Well, what's wrong with this code segment is right here. If and then you have assignment statement right there in the middle. This should be a double equal. So that's the problem there. Right here, it should be a double equal. If I is equal to j. Number 13, the answer there would be 1. So if you have the alert, and inside the alert you call map, the floor function is going to, with the x ampersand 3, it's going to return 1. Okay. And you can run these statements within JavaScript as well. Question number 14 is going to give the answer 9 using the CIL function if x is 7.3. Number 15, both of them will be 3, right? So if a is 4 and b is equal to 3, after the statement executes, both will be 3. Okay. So if you plugged in 4 into X, plugged in 3 into X, both will be 3. Number 16 would print there how you are. Because remember, although the statement is false, ends up false because 10 is not greater than 10, it still would execute. This if goes with the first statement after the if, hello. So it doesn't have braces around it. So the other two statements there and how you are would still execute regardless of the condition. And number 17, what will the output of the expressions be? 3 times 4 modulo 7. They would be evaluate to 12 modulo 7. So 7 goes into 12 one time, but we'll have 5 left over. So modulo operator gives us the remainder of 5. And then in number 18, find one error. There's actually 2 errors here, but you just need to find one. So the problem was this in this else, that this statement was just having a condition here. But what would correct this is if you put an else there, or if you simply left the else and took off the answer equals female, because if it's not male, and obviously it's female. Okay. So either of those, either else or else if would work. But if you use else, take out the condition. Number 19, a little tricky. X is equal to 10, and then you have choice, which is a Boolean, right? And it's equal to true. It's a Boolean data type. And remember with the or, these 2 pipes here, just one of the conditions have to be true in order for the statement to be true. So X, which is 10, is less than 10, is not true, is a false statement, but choice is equal to true. So that makes, because one of them is true, the entire statement is true. So that means that the alert gets executed with the value X, which is the value of 10, which is inside of X. So it should print out 10, show 10 on the screen. And then number 20, what is the output of the following JavaScript code? So you have beta being, and this is going to be my last question for this video as well. Then I'll have another video with the remaining answers. So you have alpha 5 and beta 4. So the switch statement is going to evaluate beta, which is 4. It's going to come to this case 4. It's going to say beta is equal to beta, which is 5 plus 4. So beta gets assigned to be, it gets assigned 9, right? And you can think of beta as being an accumulator, like we learned last week of what accumulators were. They're accumulating our total or running total. Then, because there's no break statement within the cases, it's going to fall through to the next case. So beta is already 9. So, beta is already 9. So 9 plus 6 is 15 equals beta. So beta is now 15. So we went from 9 to 15. Now we go from beta being 9 now, being 15 now, 15 plus 10. So beta is constantly accumulating a new value each time as it's following through these cases. So we just looked at questions 1. So the answer actually obviously is 25. So we looked at a few solutions to the midterms. In the next video, we're going to continue with looking at the remaining answers to the problems. See you in a little bit. Thanks.